Hey Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. It is so awesome to be back with you. Well, here we are. It's Saturday, and that means it's time for our Saturday seance. That's right. For those of you who are new here, this is a weekly tradition. We gather each Saturday, and I go into trance, and I do trance channeling. Trance channeling is when a spirit comes through my body and overshadows my consciousness and takes temporary control of me. It's different than possession. Possession is when there is an involuntary takeover. I do my channeling in unison with my spirit people. I give them permission and I step out of the way and they come through. So it's really a very peaceful experience. It's not scary. It may look a little strange to those of you who haven't seen it, but this is actually a very ancient art form. If you do research on channeling, you'll find out it goes back thousands of years. So we're going to see what the spirit people have today. So I invite all of you, pull up your chairs here, gather in a circle, and welcome to my virtual living room, our seance room. So if you were here at my house, I'd just have you pull up chairs. So you can pull up to your computer, and it's the same thing as being right here with me. Well, I am so glad you're here. And, well, you know, as I always say, it's an adventure. We never know what the spirit people will bring for us. So I'm going to settle down into trance and we'll let them come through. Anyways, by the way, before I go into that, also just want to tell you, make sure if you didn't get your horoscopes today, I did put up horoscopes earlier today, and you can see that that's in the video queue right before this one, okay? All right. Well, I'm going to settle down and go into trance. I'll see you when I get back. Oh, greetings. This is Fletcher here. So good to be back with all of you. Well, we got to say the vibrations are high today, and all of you gathered here have a lot of soul glow about you. So we welcome you tonight. We got a few people who want to step in and speak, so I'll be stepping out of the way. This is Fletcher signing off. If we look to the stars, we will understand the truth. It is believed that in the galaxy all truths are revealed. The heavens are a map of eternity, and if one studies them, one can come to understand that there are truths all about us. If you seek to know the spiritual world, look at the stars, look at the order of the universe. When I was a young man in university, I used to go and inquire of the great scientists of my day. I used to say, tell me about the evolution of humankind. Tell me about the evolution of the animals. Are we connected? Are we one? At that time, I was told that the world operated on a solely mechanistic principle, and that there was no such thing as a divine plan or order, that it was merely happenstance and chance and random selection. I believed that for much of my life, and thought, well, if there is no God, if there is no afterlife, then none of this matters. And I went about my merry way, living only for the things of the world. What a mistake it was. If I had paused and truly looked at the heavens, I would have seen that there is a divine order. The divine order comes to all of us at some point in our life, and we are shown the great map, the great plan. Some of you tonight are wondering, is there order to your lives? You live in a state of chaos, and you even question your own reality. You think yourself only a mere collection of molecules. But I come to tell you that you are more than just molecules. You are a spirit soul. You are part of the eternal plan. And within you resides the very consciousness that will transcend even death. Death is only the temporary ceasing of the body. The human consciousness may for even a few moments experience a blankness, a sleep, but soon after that one awakes, and one awakes to a much more glorious or a much more horrid reality. Your consciousness dictates where you awaken. If you think on the higher truths, on the spiritual truths, your mind will be attuned to this vibration, and you will find yourself in a world of beautiful light. If you have fear of God and wish not to be close to God, you will be allowed to remain upon the earth. There are many souls who awaken and find themselves on the earth, but even these souls are offered the chance to go to the light. From whatever place a spirit resides, there is always a door to the other side, a door to the light. So earthbound spirits can clearly see the light. It is true that many of them shy away from it, and some wish to turn their backs upon it. But it cannot be ignored forever, for eventually a soul must make a choice where it wishes to go. If a soul wishes to reject the light and dwell in darkness, it also has this option. The truth is that the soul has eternal free will, even after this life. Many people say, well, in this life I do what I want, I have free will. This is true, but know that your choices lead to a level of vibration, and this level of vibration will affect everything that you do. If you choose and seek the light, you will find yourself in the light. Your mind is your best friend or your worst enemy. If you think on the light, you will become like the light. If you think against the light, so you shall push away from the light. Those souls, as I was myself, we found ourselves in the place of darkness, the place of expiation. Know that the door to each soul's salvation is never closed. If you find yourself in the place of darkness, the first thing you must do is recognize the reality of who you are. Once you make your peace with that, then you begin to attune to the light. If you call out to the spirit world, if you call out to God and to your angels, you will certainly find relief coming to grant you assistance. There is none that is abandoned to the lowest places, even without hope. Always those who even find themselves in the lowest levels of purgatory have the angels to come and to guide them. So let the angels be your friends. You would do well to cultivate a relationship with the angels while alive. You see, I had a knowledge somewhat of the paranormal, of the supernatural. For a while I indulged in a little bit of black magic. But I wrote it all off to trifling nonsense. Even though I saw great and amazing things, I thought to myself, it must only be imagination, it cannot be real. There is no spiritual reality. I bought into the lie of atheism, and it is that lie of atheism that will destroy a human's mind and soul. Do not go that way. It will limit your ability to have joy in this life as well in the next. You know, there is a saying that there are no atheists in foxholes, and I can testify, having come through both wars, that this is very true. Many people who went into the forces of the day left saying they'd believed in a higher power. There was too much evidence, and they saw miracles all about them, and those who should have died were miraculously saved. You see, I did not even listen to them, and I followed my own way. But after you die and you awaken, you cannot deny the reality of your spirit. You cannot deny the reality that you exist. And if you have the inquisitive mind, as I did, to question your consciousness, then you will start to understand things about who you are and the situation that you find yourself in. But I tell you, you need not go to that place of darkness. It would be better for all of you to focus on the light, to raise your vibration and ascend into the higher realms. Now I work from the place of the light, and my mind is clear again. I look back upon my earthly life and I say to myself, Alfred, why did you waste your time? You wasted your incarnation. It takes much effort for one to incarnate in the earth. For those who wish to go into the earth, there is an entire committee that is set up, a planning team. They will help you plan your time of birth, your parents, your location, and the major events in your life. There is a plan to even the most strange lives. Some of you upon the earth look about yourself and you say, I live amidst chaos. None of these people have any plan in their life. It is true that in entering the earth one often forgets one's soul agreements, one's contracts with our world. This is why it is important to develop a mind of meditation, a mind of prayer. If you develop such a mind, you will have ease of transition when it is your time to return to our world. Do not have fear or trepidation if you find yourselves today in a place where you have great fear. Simply say, God, I call out to you. Let me have your light. Illumine my mind with your truth. The mere asking will open doors of perception to you and knowledge that you did not have before. God's light will surround you, it will permeate you, and suddenly you will see the answers to many things in your life. If you wish, you may call upon me. You say, Alfred, come and help me, and certainly I will help you. It is my wish that no soul wander the path of aimless degradation that I did in my life, and I wish that all of you would have peace in your lives, and it is my goal to help you to move up your ladder. There is a ladder to heaven, it is true, and each day you climb a rung, you move closer to heaven, or you move further away from heaven. Do not be as I was and totally jump off the ladder. I jumped off the ladder, I might say, greatly regretting. So many things I could have done in my earthly life had I only paid attention. But that is neither here nor there. It is part of the past. And now we must focus on the moment now that we live in. Now can be glorious if you wish it to be, but you must call it to yourself. So today invite the spirit world into your lives. Invite the help from on high. And I promise you, you will not climb the ladder alone, nor will you fall off into the pit. Somebody else wishes to speak. I'll be stepping from the body. My name is Alfred. Well, hello. Can you hear me out there? This is Edgar. I'm coming to speak to you. Some of you know me more by my last name of Cayce. Yes, I'm Edgar Cayce. It's a great pleasure to come here and to be with all of you. I come today with an important message. The earth is at a point of transition now. Many of you are being called by the spirit world to be of assistance, to be of service. Do not neglect your calling. Many of you come from the ancient land of Atlantis. The Atlanteans were wise and powerful people, but unfortunately they let their technology and their arrogance outpace their spiritual awareness. And now many of you are back, and you feel the call of the spiritual in your lives. Let that call lead you. Let that call of the spirit world help you. Do not walk the arid way that you did in your past. Many Atlanteans became vain and power-hungry, and in the end they created a cataclysm that sunk an entire continent. Such was the force of their destruction. Reincarnation teaches us that we have another chance to get it right. But the earth is at a point, a crossroads of perilous energy. Many of you are feeling the calling, yet you say, well, I don't know what to do. Well, you know our dear friend Alfred who just spoke to you. He said pray, and that's my advice as well. Ask God into your life. During my earthly life, I used to teach Sunday school at my church. It brought me great joy. I cannot tell you watching the children pray how pure their hearts were. It reminded me always to be close to my God and to continue to pray. So if you don't know which direction to go, call upon God to help you. I will also come and help you. Some of you are gifted with the gift of channeling. Some of you have the gifts of dream prophecy. Now you will start to see the visions that have been foretold of the latter days. We are in a time where there is much transition coming upon the earth. Don't let it bring you fear. Let it bring you hope. For the power of God will shine through, and humanity can be restored. The age of Aquarius will either be the perilous age of time or it will be the glory of time. But you get to decide by your own knowledge, your soul power. If you fear that you don't know enough, then pray. Praying will make you wise. That's what my father always said. Edgar, pray. Prayer will make you wise. And he was right. When I lived upon earth, I did not understand the faculties that I possessed, the ability to channel through. It was a mystery to me. And many great psychics came to help me understand this, though at the time I just didn't quite understand it or pay attention. I can tell you now that a very work was being worked out in my soul, and each of you have a work developing in your soul. So say yes to the work of God in your soul. Let it open your mind and heart, and you will find peace, you will find joy, and you will find success. The earth can be transformed in the blink of an eye, but it takes the unified will of humankind and the unified will of God. God is willing, are you? I'm so pleased to have the chance to visit with you today, and I invite all of you to look within your heart and find the truth of the very light of the Spirit of God that resides within your soul. Other people wish to speak now, but it's been a pleasure visiting with you. There, I think we're in the bottom. My dears, hello, Miss Rose. It's a blessing to be here. I do. I'm so very honoured to share this time with Mr. Cayce and also our dear friend Alfred. Such wonderful souls they are. Over here in our world, we have the privilege to see exalted beings such as these. Their light shines brighter than anything I can think of upon the earth. You know, there's a welder's blowtorch. Have you ever seen this? So very bright you can't look upon it with your bare eyes. But the light of the Spirit is brighter than a welder's blowtorch. I tell you it is, my dears. You know, I wish to also echo the words of Mr. Cayce and tell you how very important it is to let God be in your lives. Do you know, when I was on the earth, I did go to church, and I must say my vicar did impart spiritual wisdom to me, though I was rather stubborn about it all. But you know, over here, I've had time to reflect, time to learn the lessons of life. And I can tell you, most assuredly, that if you let the Spirit lead you, you will always be blessed. You know, I see people over here, and when I learn about their lives, many of them went through great hardships and tragedies. You know, when I look at my own life, I had a really comfortable life. I was very well off, you know, and I never really suffered. I had a lot of money. But you see, my sickness was the sickness of the soul. I did not invite spiritual light into my soul, at least not to the degree that I should have. And I look at those who had far less than I. I've met many people over here who died during a blitz. They watched their entire family be killed and their house destroyed, and some of them lived on beyond the war. And I said to them, "How did you survive? My heavens, it would have destroyed me." And they said to me, "Rose, don't you know that God gives you the strength to bear your burdens?" And you know, I suppose that's true, but I didn't realize it at the time. And you see, I have great admiration because these are the heroes of the earth, those who carry on with their everyday duties. Oh, most of them did not have glamorous lives. You know, I had a very glamorous life, my life was. But you see, the women that I admire over here are the housewives. They'd cook and clean every day. And when the London bombs were falling, they gathered their families about them and they prayed. This is where power is, and many of them survived, and those who didn't, at least they died praying. And they told me it's not a bad way to die, for you go right up. I really quite like that. You know, I spent a long time in purgatory, as did Alfred. But the simple people, the plain people, these are the ones Jesus spoke of. Now, I don't mean to preach to you or anything, but you know, I could not help but reflect on the very lessons that I learned in my own spiritual journey. And my vicar would always talk about the meek and the humble. I could not relate to that at the time. I said, well, you know, I'm grand and important. Why should I wish to be meek and humble? I certainly don't buy into poverty. But do you see, all my wealth blinded me. And I say this to you today, that you will not be blinded by the material world. The material world is passing. Money comes and it goes. And you will understand in the coming years that if you let the light in, how much more joy that you will have, how much more peace. So I invite each of you today, meditate on the light today. Reach to our world. We're always pleased to be here with you and assist you. I'm so thankful for this opportunity to come. Fletcher says that the power is growing weak now, so I'm going to be stepping from the body. But I send you my blessings, and I look forward to hearing of all your experiences. Come and tell me your stories. Call upon me, and say, Rose, will you come help me? And certainly I will be there for you. I give you all my blessings. Well, Tubies, I tell you, I so enjoy having the chance to channel for you. And I hope that this seance has been enjoyable and fascinating and helpful. I know when the spirit people come through me, it really blesses me, and I feel their power, and it really helps me. If you've enjoyed today's seance, you might want to think about stopping over to my website and picking up this book. This is called Messages from Rose, and it's my book about my work as a trance channel. I was working with my spirit guide, Rose, and some of the adventures I've had with her. And so if you enjoyed this and want to learn more about channeling and my life as a psychic, pick this book up over at my website at robert-hickman.com. I'll put the link below. You know, while you're over there in the books section, up at the top there's a tab that says books. There are other books that I have in my store over there. This is my book called Ouija Mysteries. It's about my work with the Ouija board. And then we've got also Psychic Bob's Book of Wiccan Wisdom. So all of these are available. And also my other one, When Worlds Unite. I don't have that here, but that's at the website as well. But check out my books. I hope you'll consider picking them up and, you know, working on your spiritual reading, you know. It's a new year, time to start a new path. And I can't think of a better way than indulging in some spiritual books and starting on your journey. I am so glad you guys are here. Listen, I hope you'll, show me some support. Like this video, favorite it, share it with your friends. And if you can, hit subscribe, be part of our channel. We'd sure love you to be here. You guys rock. Keep it here. Tomorrow we're going to have another horoscopes, and then we'll have some fun stuff on Sunday. I think a Sunday outing. We're going to go somewhere. So we'll see you tomorrow. Blessed be.